Hey guys, it's Main here again, back again with another video. Today I have today sort of give you a general overview. Apart from just this account, I have a lot of things going on. I'm trying to go through as much as I can and give some people some reviews. I do want to say I am very grateful that every single one of you that's watching this video probably has reached out to me at some point, or at least seen the video and wanted to reach out. I've been getting a lot of people on Discord, so much so that I've actually started a spreadsheet to keep track of who needs reviews, um, and kind of go from there. So I'm just kind of cleaning up my notes here. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of people reach out to me for reviews, which is not bad. It's honestly something I expected as the channel kind of progressed and people started to see it pop up in like the recommended feed, whatever. I just want to let you guys know if you do reach out to me on Discord asking for a review, I am very behind on them. I still have videos going out that I've recorded a few days ago, almost a week ago at this point. So for those people, obviously, what I've always done is I've given like a written guide to the people as I do the reviews kind of immediately, and then the video will come out. I'll basically the difference between the write up of what I do and the spoken form, the video format, is the written guide has very succinct, concrete goals that they can accomplish, like upgrade your tools. It'll go a little bit in depth, but the video goes very in depth, or at least I try to go very in depth into the concepts of what I'm talking about. So you guys not only do the things that I recommend, but also learn from it. That's kind of the whole point of this. It's kind of I feel useless to the community if I just say, "Hey, go do this thing," but then I don't explain why that's important. I tend to go on rants, as you obviously realize, because everything in this game is kind of connected, from stamps to alchemy to tools to character choices. Everything is interconnected, so it's kind of good to have someone who has ADHD because I tend to have like 30 thoughts at once. And like I said, everything in this game is kind of interconnected. So, too much, again, I'm rambling about rambling, but let's go ahead and just move into this review, talk about this person in particular, lilbun42069. He reached out to me as well. It seems like he's also more toward the end-ish game. Let's see what he had to say, if he had to say anything. Um, Nothing in particular. Just possibly some help with his progression is what he asked for. Okay, perfect. Let's try to take a look, see where he's at. So he's in World 6. Let's see if he's killing anything in particular. At least he doesn't seem to be progressing World 6, although I can tell he probably hasn't gotten too far into it, just based off of his levels. I mean, you get a lot of EXP from doing things, so let's go ahead and just talk about that. I saw some things based off his prayers I do want to address real quick. He's got a lot of prayers equipped, and I think he's trying to focus on leveling his characters. He's probably farming statues right now on citrons. I'd be careful running big brain time just because it's another HP multiplier. I suspect you have enough damage to kill them, even with like hitting multi kill. You just want to be sure you can kill the crystal mobs if you're trying to crystal mob farm. At least that's what I see. You have Midas Mind on. I imagine you don't have Choco Chip actually. If you are statue farming on citrons, go put on Chocolate Chip on the Divine Knight. Ooh, also let's get to that in a second. Yeah, it seems like you're doing a few different things at once right now. So you're green mushroom farming on your siege breaker. Your second siege breaker is killing crawlers. I think you're progressing or doing quests for World 5. One thing to note, I imagine you have a lot of damage. So you should probably unequip Fibers of Absence. Fibers of Absence is only good if you're trying to hit multi-kill on your character. If you haven't hit multi-kill on your character, I should say. Because Fiber of Absence is a multiplicative damage loss. So what that means is, your prayer has 68% reduced damage, mine has 51%. So I'm losing about 50% of my damage if I were to equip this. So this will go from 351 trillion down to 175, 190. You know, it's a little bit off, but yeah, it literally halves my damage. So unequip it. You're more likely than not just losing a tier of multi-kill if you equip this. So just drop it. Also, these prayers are all confusing because you have multi-kill per damage tier, but you're using the prayer that doesn't rely on multi-kill, and then you're also buffing up the monster's HP. So if you weren't hitting multi-kill, you for sure aren't hitting multi-kill now. but I suspect you are because you are kind of an endgame account. So just unequip Fibers of Absence is generally a really bad prayer unless you're pushing Rift, and when you're in Rift, you can't hit multi-kill. That's, yeah, just take that off. Generally, it's really bad. And you have it on like all your characters, so go ahead and take it off. One thing I want to note as well is Balance of Pain does multiplicatively reduce your damage and accuracy, but once you get into late game, defense and accuracy. But when you get into late game, defense and accuracy matter a whole lot less. So it's not that bad of a prayer compared to Fiber of Absence, where you always need damage, and you can always scale damage higher. So let's take a look at skills, see where you're at. So you're at like 50 to 75 on pretty much all your characters. Okay. One thing to note here, your Vman is not the highest in these skills. So that's going to impact you for things like skilling and efficiency in particular. So this character, for example, is rank 1 in mining. He's losing a lot of efficiency because he's not rank 2 and your Vman's not rank 1. So let's take a look at what I mean. It's kind of a niche concept to understand if you haven't looked too much into these skills, but this right here, the right hand of action gives you skill efficiency for your other characters if their skill level is lower than Maestro. So right now, this skill is on your second DK is not lower than your Vman. So you're losing out on basically doubling your skill efficiency just because you leveled your character too high. So go level your Vman on all World 1, World 2 skills, mining, fishing, catching, and chopping. Sorry, these right here. Level them up so that Vman is highest. That way you benefit from the right hand of action and left hand of skilling. Because obviously you want skill EXP gain so you can progress your skills, but you mostly want the skill efficiency for things like prints. I don't know if you've done a print recently with your DK being the highest, but I imagine it's suffering. It looks like, yeah, I mean, this, you can probably like 1.3 to 2 times your prints just by getting your Vman to a high enough level and reprinting on your character. So go ahead and do that. Something you don't want to forget about. As well, let's go ahead and look at your equipment, see your tools. So yeah, you're pushing your tools relatively high. So you're pretty much Starfire minimum, Luster minimum. I just work on your tools a little bit more. Try to get your buboes. Well, you have 2 buboes. Try to get your bubo or buboes into higher gear because they can rely on the money percent for cranium cookie. They're your best money farmers too. So yeah, just progress your tools a little bit further if you want to progress the account. Generally, the stats themselves will give you more damage. Also, you haven't used the upgrade slots on this. So use your upgrade slots, give yourself some more damage, and also give you more stats, which also impacts your damage or your money percent, everything that your character needs, your account needs to progress. Something to note as well, if you're in World 6, you should have already done the Cheeseor quest. You're just missing out on 5 extra keys per day. I don't know how long you have been outside of World 3, but every day you're outside of World 3, you don't have these quests complete is another day you're losing out on a little bit of progress. I actually want to check something else real quick because I didn't really verify this, but I don't think you have Cheeseor scarves in all your character. You definitely want to do that because you'll be able to eventually craft these into Divine Scarves. Divine Scarves are the best in slot pendants for pretty much every single character because they give you all AFK gain. All AFK gain is incredibly important for skilling in particular. And if you have the chip doubler for keychains, it will, actually don't know if you do, but eventually when you unlock the pendant doubler, this will give you 50% all AFK gain, which will massively increase your 3D prints. So you can get higher prints, get more atoms, progress alchemy a little bit faster, get more cooking speed. There's a lot of things. I focused a lot on alchemy in the past few videos, so you should go watch pretty much all the previous videos I uploaded into just talking about how important atom generation is, and it shows that you're suffering in it because your boron's only level 3. You don't even have a level in fluoride. You don't even have a level in sodium, which I imagine your gaming is suffering because you can't level up snail. Also, I don't even know if you have snail, so that's a different topic. So you need to focus on skilling is my recommendation right now. Skilling will give you a lot of benefit, not just in bigger prints, but also it'll help you skyrocket your progress in alchemy. It'll help you skyrocket your progress in cooking because fluoride is one of the 3 or 4 buffs to cooking that massively increase the cooking speed. You're currently at level 33 plates as your highest on turkey, but you can probably skyrocket this way even more if you were to get fluoride because it massively increases your cooking speed. Not only that, but I also want to check this. How is your blood marrow? So right now it's only level 28. You need to level this. This it's deceptive in its writing in that the immediate text says 0.24% multiplicative meal cooking speed. You may be thinking that's extremely low, but similarly, like to all other bonuses, on the left side you can actually see how much of an impact is actually giving you. If you were to book this, and by the way, I haven't, so I'm going to go do that real quick. And I also do need to do a speed run on my Vman just because I'm missing talents in them, because I'm a big dum-dum. There we go. Perfect. So I need to skill this up. I need to redo my everything because I don't even have voodoo statification maxed out. But regardless, you see how it says I'm at level 195 right now, 0.99% multiplicative meal cooking speed. If I go to the left, I'm actually getting 18% meal cooking speed, which I want to check something real quick, is actually higher than your meal cooking speed. So this talent alone is giving me more meal cooking speed than you have in your entire kitchen. So go upgrade it. And you'll see your cooking massively increase over the next few days just because you booked it and spent talent points in it. Also, if you are doing the Vman speedrun, first of all, take off this prayer. You're crippling your damage by doing this. Also, take off big brain time if you do it. Take off the Midas Mind. I imagine, going back to something I mentioned earlier, actually, I'm going to assume you haven't been able to kill Nightmare Cattlecrook, probably because you don't realize how big of a damage loss this prayer actually gives you. Oh my god, which one of your characters has it? Holy Jesus Christ. Okay, Fibers of Absence. This, like I said, multiplicatively reduces your damage. Take it off. You'll be able to kill probably Cattlecrook as probably my assumption, because you're in World 6, and I imagine you've gotten a big damage boost from summonings specifically. So killing Cattlecrook on Nightmare on all characters is actually way easier now than it was a few months ago before World 6 released. So I recommend completing that quest, unlocking the scarf, and trying to farm the Divine Pendant to craft the scarves. That way you have higher prints. That way you can progress your characters just in all aspects of the game. Okay, now going on to the general account overview. Let's go look at stamps for this right here. Actually, before we do that, let's go look at your anvil. You have all your monster points. Perfect. So you don't neglect that. That's good. How the vial's doing. This isn't level 13 yet. I'd recommend getting this level 13. Ooh, this specifically. Let's look. So you are Onyx statue farming. How's your Kachow statues? So you haven't Onyx this yet, the Kachow statues. I imagine you're probably saving them. Before you continue depositing statues, you need to get this bubble to level 13, this vial to level 13, and you need to get it above 100%. So you have, I imagine, the Rift bonus for Vial Mastery right here. You'll be able to push level 13 vials, which increases the bonus this vial gives you. Once you get it to a minimum 100%, let's say maybe 101, just in case there's like rounding issues, get it to 101%, and you'll be able to double the points statues give you, provide your account. That way you can deposit your statues at like the most effective rate. Also as well, you can't really do this right now, but Starchu EXP, getting this to about 90%, where it says 22.7%, would also increase your statue deposit gain. Just a little bit of a bonus too. All those will help really to improve your damage. Onyx statues are no joke. They're a really good improvement to your account. The fact you don't have level 13 Skinny Yocal is kind of hurting. Before you continue trying to grind out Onyx statues, you really want to get this level 13, because as you do Onyx, you're going to be tempted to deposit them, but it's really a waste, and this is something you can probably really easily push towards right now. There's a lot of vials I see right now that you should have the skilling capacity for, and you should have the damage on your Vman to get a high monster print for. So my suggestion is to try to focus the bubbles you haven't done yet for skilling specifically, and get them to level 13. So your Void Vial, your Mesquite Nose, what else in particular? Your Sand Sharks, Krakenade Vial, Maple Logos, Maple Syrup Vial, Dust Motes, the Equinox things, maybe Call of Fish if you have enough vials for them. But also on top of that, get the monster vials up to level 13, because they're extremely easy with the Vman speedrun print. So getting the beans up, the Skinny Yocal especially, the Globulin Ears, also the post office ones, the floof things from the sheepies in World 3, all those, I suspect you're actually pretty close to getting 100% through level 13 vials. you have the capacity to push it right now because your prints aren't that bad. I take it back. They need some work. So, I mean, focus on like the World 1, World 2 skill levels in your vials if you can. Um, I think you can get the monster ones done pretty easily. They shouldn't be that hard with the Vman speedrun. Again, I'll go over sort of the general idea how to do that. So your Vman specifically, the way it works, try to get as much multi-kill and fighting AFK gains and mob respawn as you can through star signs, through chips, through card set, through prayers. Just don't increase the HP of monsters and don't equip Fibers of Absence. And then what you want to do is start the put as many points as you can in the Void speedrun. Then do it, kill as many monsters as you can, go through as many portals as fast as you can, kill the Nightmare variant of all the bosses with his talent skilled into. So you want Void Radius maxed out, you want the Void Trial rerun maxed out, you want the Bossing Vein maxed out. You want to get the multi-kill per tier maxed out as well if you can. The jab for damage is pretty good. Trying to think what else. The Voodoo statification is going to be required. And I guess if you want to get base luck as well, that would help with your damage as well. And then, just put your points in this down for like the jab and more damage and stuff. But the basic premise of that is you do the trial rerun, the Void Trial rerun with as high level as you can. When you're nearing the end of the run, when it's almost out, you've killed as many Nightmare variant bosses as you can, you push as many portals as you can, you'll hit Void Radius. This will give you a boost to multi-kill per tier. I think at level 1 it gives you 400%, but it'll boost even further. You'll want to get that. It'll give you that little bonus for 20 seconds of a massive increase of multi-kill per tier. This you can do a monster print for, and you'll get really, really high monster vial prints or monster 3D prints. Like right here, I have 1.45 million pocket sand. I did this like as I entered World 5, so I can do this again at probably triple or like 10x the pocket sand I can print per hour, but just by doing it because of all the bonuses I've got from World 6. And I imagine you're probably in a similar situation where you'd massively benefit from this. So go through, make a list of the monster vials you haven't level 13 yet, and go through one by one and get them to level 13 on your Vman specifically because he has the highest print capacity for them. Okay, going back to stamps. I stopped talking about this to tirade about Vman speedrun. Going back to stamps. You can probably push level 10,000 stamps pretty easily. The reason 10,000 is important is because it is it's the milestone you want to reach to get one gilded stamp per day. The Stamp Mastery says every 100 total levels you have in your stamp, you get a 1% chance to get 95% stamp reduction cost. So 100 times 100% chance will give you 10,000. So you need 10,000 stamp level to guarantee a gilded stamp per day, which will help you push your stamps even further. Some of the harder ones that are going to require that, plus I think hydrogen stamp reduction through the Atom Collider. It'll help you push crystalline stamp even higher. It'll help you push dust motes, the dust mote multi-tool stamp even higher, the ladle efficiency stamp, pretty much everything that could benefit your account. You need a little bit more oomph in your stamps to be able to hit that right now. So my biggest recommendation is probably focusing on skilling and the base stat stamps in combat, specifically the strength and the wisdom. Ores and the copper ore and oak logs are the easiest thing to print to get high atom generation. So you need to focus on getting all stats up, specifically strength and wisdom, and utilizing stat graph stamp and the stat Wall Street stamp. Getting those as high as possible will increase your efficiency in those skills, which will help increase your print as well. Also, if you aren't hitting the 90% print sample rate, which I suspect you are, I just level up those stamps. Equip Royal Sampler if you haven't. I forgot to check if you are. You don't have Royal Sampler equipped on some of your characters. You don't have a Royal Sampler equipped. Equip that if you're not hitting 90%. I suspect you're not. So go through the skill info, check if you actually are hitting 90%, and just go do that on your character, and then go do your prints. You'll probably have a good increase in print size if you do that as well. Focusing back on the stamps, multi-tool stamp is a big one. It'll give you all skill efficiency. I imagine you have the stamp exemption in Sneaking done, the Jade Emporium. This one right here, level exemption. So you do have this. So this is actually a big, minuscule boost that World 6 provided for skilling efficiency specifically, upgrading base mining efficiency, base chopping efficiency specifically. These two stamps, they were hit pretty hard with the level exemption. You're getting a lot more base mining and chopping efficiency. Well, I say a lot, not that much, but you can you kind of have these at the highest level that they can right now without getting the stamp reduction. So you're doing pretty good there. My main focus right now for you would probably be getting multi-tool stamp up. You don't have a gilded stamp yet, so wait for a gilded stamp before you upgrade it, but try to upgrade that so you get more skill efficiency. This will also impact your cooking, which we'll get into a little bit later, but this impacts all skills, cooking most importantly, but also impacts chopping and mining. Yeah, so go upgrade this if you can. You don't have enough dust motes for it. I recommend getting a dust mote print because this is really, really important as a stamp. Okay. Yeah, also, if you're able to get the capitalist stat stamp, this percent all stat will get scaled by the bonus from lab, and will also get scaled by pristine charm if you do have it. So this bonus is kind of multiplied by different bonuses that affect stamps. So this is really, really good. Also, you don't have Conjure Charmo stamp, so try to unlock this as soon as you can. It's base luck. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't get it, but it's probably important if you do get it because you need to increase your ES damage. Also, helps a little bit out with drop rate, class EXP, that kind of stuff. World 2, Alchemy. So your Alchemy, I imagine, probably sucks because your Boron level is pretty low. And just looking at this, a lot of your bubbles, you do have a lot of the important skilling bubbles that are kind of high, but your multi-log chance is probably suffering and you aren't hitting 300%. So if you want a good way to increase your prints overnight, is try to upgrade the stamp with bargain tag specifically. So if you click on the skill and look into it, you'll see multi-log drop chance. If it's not 300%, you need to hard focus this and upgrade both the stamp, equip the star sign, and try to use bargain tags to upgrade this bubble even further until you hit 300%. This straight up multiplies the logs you get, and 300% is the hard cap. So you need to make sure all the bonuses you have are adding up to 300%. If it's not, hard focus this immediately. Because your 3D prints are probably suffering as a result of it, and you can get way higher prints because you're lacking on that specifically. Next, your big focus should be trying to upgrade Hocus Chopus. Specifically, again, I'd recommend hard focusing and printing nails, or not printing, but like producing nails in the anvil in all your characters to upgrade this even higher. Try to get this to a point where you can atom it and start using your atoms every single day to upgrade this. This is a really big bubble for increasing chopping efficiency for your mages. I know it says 27.4, but don't get that conflated. This is actually 27.4% per power of 10 max MP, so it's really effective on mages. On top of that, this gets doubled by Mage's Best, and that gets doubled even further by Severe Purple because it's the third bubble. So this is basically getting like a 4x, almost 5-6x multiplier, maybe even 8x multiplier. I don't know. I think Mage's Best also impacts Severe Purple, which double impacts Hocus Chopus. But regardless, upgrade this bubble if you can. Try to get this like 75-80% capacity. That should be feasible, both using bargain tags and using atoms when you're able to atom this. And you'll be able to really increase your chopping efficiency. The reason I say chopping efficiency is really important is because it is the easiest thing to mass produce atoms with. It is the first thing people tend to hit 1 billion print with. It's one of the first things I used to try to hit 1 billion print for the Equinox stream. You can really juice out your skilling efficiency and juice out your 3D print for Oak Log specifically if you try to focus getting, well, first of all, 300% multi-log chance, but also increasing Hocus Chopus specifically. Perfect. Once that's up to 80%, try to get some of your other skilling bubbles for Mage specifically up to 30%. Sorry, 80%. I mean, not 30%, 80%. Librarian Tools is atomable for you right now. You just don't have the atom generation for it. I suspect once you get Hocus Chopus up a little bit more, you'll be able to atom this once you do a reprint. Okay. Yeah, that'll be the big focus for you. This might take some time. This will honestly probably give you a few weeks worth of time. Perfect. Okay. And you are kind of starting the Citadel grind, so you're not doing too bad there. I don't know what your boost cauldrons are at, but I'd recommend probably getting the World 6 bubbles unlocked first before you really delve into sigils. Just because with the Tomes update coming out, you're going to be missing out on some of the... I think you're missing out on some of the bonuses. Yeah, you're missing out on like one of the Tome upgrades. And you're also missing out on red essence generation when that does come out. Not too big of a problem right now. Ooh, but the big one, you're missing out on the Jade Costa currency conduit. So this is really, really important for sneaking when you do get to eggs, so you can start upgrading this. It'll make this scale even slower. That way you can juice out your Jade coin gain. So honestly, you should really, really be focusing on that. Trying to unlock that at the very least, because you'll get a sort of minor increase to the Jade generation that you get per day. Okay, moving on to World 3. Let's look at Refinery. Okay, it's out of whack. I immediately know it's out of whack because these are really close together in levels. I still recommend to use the Refinery chart for lower levels of salt generation. You're starting to get to a point where that chart is kind of useless. So I'd recommend looking at Idleon Toolbox specifically because it gives you a cost breakdown of salts per hour. I won't go too much into detail because the previous videos I've done this already. I've already fixed my refinery, by the way. Mine had issues before. But generally, if you look at the next salts hourly cost breakdown, you see it's costing 6.64k red salts per hour, but I'm printing 8.94k. As you see, I'm hovering over this. So I'm not out of balance here. If anything was out of balance, it would show like orange text, and you would be in a deficit, which means you couldn't sustain infinite salt generation. So you need to fix your refinery before you run out of salts in that. So I imagine you're probably running out of salts here. Your blue is really, really high. So I imagine you're eating into your orange salts and you're not able to sustain this at an infinite rate. Yeah, your fuel's empty because you're out of orange salts. So, and you're also out of green salts. You're out of purple salts. Yeah, I imagine progressing your tools was a big pain in the ass for you. I highly recommend trying to fix that as soon as possible. And again, I don't truly recommend looking at this all too often. This is a good general idea of where your salts should be, but as you get to the second page of this post right here, it starts to break down a little bit because I was here myself and I saw I was at a deficit producing orange salts. I was losing orange salts every single hour while producing blue salts, so I had to turn it off for a little bit to fix that. But yeah. Okay, Death Note. This is something you can probably do to improve your damage as well. If you're struggling with damage, try to get Eclipse Skulls and Green Mushrooms. The damage you get from World 6 should be sufficient enough to start getting Eclipse Skulls. Go through Green Mushrooms first, then go to Frogs, Board Beans, that kind of stuff. I'd probably try to aim to getting Lava Skulls first before you go for Eclipse Skulls to eke out a little bit more Eclipse. These are Lava Skulls right here, the one you see over Baby Boas. These are Dementia Skulls. You want to upgrade this over to the next tier. That way it gives you a little bit more multi-kill per damage tier in Blunderhill specifically. That way you can you can be more efficient about it when you're trying to eclipse. Green Mushrooms, I mean, you want to get this to 1 billion anyways because it not only gives you damage, it'll give you a lot of money percent. So if you're struggling with money generation, killing Green Mushrooms is going to be really important. Also, I don't know if you're active in lab. I really recommend you being active in lab. One thing I want to note as we get into this, actually, is now a good time. Let's get there. I'll let you cook for a second. Equinox isn't doing too bad. Yeah, there's nothing to say there really. I'd highly recommend trying to push this challenge in Equinox specifically. Trying to get the ulti double cogs. The +4 max level for liquid vestment is extremely important for Bubo and trying to push liquid generation. So absolutely try to get that as soon as you can. Let's go trapping. Your traps aren't doing too bad. Your character just is in meaty traps here. Try to get this up to royal traps that we get the extra trap. And I think you're using the automation drone you're doing 10-hour traps. Okay, you seem to be doing pretty good about this, so I won't harp on you too much. I think this is the most efficient setup. You just need to actually be able to check them. I'm lazy. I let the automation, not the automation arm, but the rift bonus collect this, the vacuum collect this every 24 hours for me. Worship. Okay. You are a charged siphon enjoyer. Okay, my one issue is you should probably get your characters up to probably level 100 worship, especially with the new skulls that came out. You want to start weaning off of using charged siphon too much. For your Vman specifically, he has a talent that's really important for getting critters and souls. His species epoch thing requires high levels of worship and trapping. So you always want nature traps on your Vman to push his levels even further, as well as collecting your charge on your Vman specifically to start pumping up that level to get even more souls and critter generation. You should use all of your souls into Frosty Firefight, because it gives you the most EXP per charge. So this isn't saying every time you press it, you're going to get 809 EXP. No, it means every one charge is going to give you 809 EXP. So this is your most cost-effective worship thing to be like praying at or using your MSA Soul Totalizer on. You want to use all your souls, use all your charge on Frosty Firefight because it gives you the most EXP. If you want EXP generation, I do believe that balance of proficiency does impact that. So level this up, get more skill EXP. Equip that. Use the Meister's Transfusion skill. Equip skill EXP card from, I believe, a Nightmare Efont. Equip Golden Ham to get you more skill EXP. That way you get more benefit out of using Frosty Firefight. Okay. Perfect. Ooh, big thing here as well. For skilling, you can really juice out your skill efficiency through skilled dimwit. You want to equip this when you're doing 3D prints on your skills. It'll massively increase your skill efficiency. The fact this isn't maxed out yet is very detrimental. It's hindering your progress in getting high 3D prints. Max this out to 50. It's really, really important. Also, you have Zerg Rush again. Perfect. That's awesome for 3D prints as well. Okay, on to cooking. So you don't have all the meals unlocked yet because you were missing 4 from World 6, I believe. You do have some you can unlock. Golden food bonus is going to be extremely good for you. So use this the spice setup that it has here. I don't know if it's actually missing a salt or not, but use this recommendation that it has here to try to unlock the peach ring. I want to see actually. So it's saying new recipe. So it's giving that one, and that one, but it's not. Yeah, it's not giving me. So I mean, this is what I'd recommend to try to unlock it. Yeah, do this because you'll be able to unlock 2 or 3 meals. I don't know if you have the spicy. Yeah, you do have that one. So I mean, you could use that spice setup to unlock the golden food. That's what I did. Yeah, you're missing out on like a ton of golden food effect, which is going to impact you. I don't know if you have the beanstalk yet. But you'll need this eventually. Golden food bonus generally is pretty good, so you want to unlock that. Also, this is a total damage one. It's also pretty good. Those are 2 meals you're missing out that are going to give you Diamond Chef bonus and also give you bonus from your Vman talent. So you're missing out on a lot of cooking speed here just by not having this unlocked in the higher enough level. Okay, let's talk about the big one. So I don't actually know if you're in lab or not. Idleon efficiency kind of sucks about telling me if you have Doot or not. I imagine you probably do. I really don't know. You have Goat God in all your characters. Okay, so I mean, it's a little bit of indication. I don't know if you're actually in lab or not. So I really recommend sooner rather than later, get your characters level 75 lab. You're missing out on a chip slot here. It's not impacting you right now, but once you unlock more chips, you want to get this done sooner rather than later, that we can just use chips on your characters. I know you don't have all the chips spaced. You don't have enough chips to really warrant using all the slots, but get your characters level 75 lab. It also impacts your weekly boss battles that you do in World 2, because some of them do require lab level. So if you're not able to kill the boss, this could be one of the reasons. As well, your divinity level, you should probably push that. Well, actually, before I talk, let me check your divinity level. You may want to push this as well. So, I mean, go hand in hand, have your characters in lab do this. That way you're able to get higher lab and divinity level. The sweet spot for divinity specifically is level 80, I believe. That gives you the most effect from the minor link bonus for the gods. So you want to equip that. You want to hit level 80, that way you get a higher minor god passive. Also, that minor god passive is scaled by Big P, which is something you eventually want to start adding because it impacts just about everything about your account. But I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, it's World 4. Breeding. Let's go ahead and look. How's breeding? Not terrible, yeah. I mean, you progress the territories, so I mean, I don't really have much to say regarding breeding. My only recommendation is try not to spread your shiny pets across too many different avenues. Try to put like 3 in there maximum. Like make multiple copies of one and then put them all in there. That's what I'm doing, just so it progresses nicely. So I'm leveling up faster shiny pet rate. That way it spends less time in there. I'm only leveling 3 at a time, and I have like 40, 30 or so, 30 plus fence space. So there's 9 copies of this, 9 copies of this, 8 copies of this. It helps progress it faster. It'll give it more days per day, so it levels it up faster. Okay, in Divinity, and again, I don't know if you have Dude or not, so if you don't, that means you don't have lab bonuses at all, which is really, really bad. Because I see a lot of your characters are killing things right now. They are skilling, they're trying to get ladles, and if you're not activating the lab bonuses, that means you're not getting Killer Brightside, for one. You don't have faster refinery cycles. You don't have the 2 times print. You don't have damage right here. You're not getting the money percent from Green Mush. You're not getting the stamp doubling for what's it called? You're not getting stamp doubles, double the combat and skill stamps. You don't have art. Oh, I don't know if you have this unlocked, but you don't have the green stack damage. You don't have vial doubling. You have a lot of things that you're missing if you're not active in lab. So I'd recommend put a minimum number of characters if you don't have Dude in lab. It's really important. Or link to Arctis so you can have the lab bonuses active on some of your characters. Also as well, if you do have Dude, yikes. Okay, you don't have these gods unlocked. I will say I think there still is a bug with Dude where you do need to have some character linked to Permeep. Wait, is it Permeep? I think it's Permeep. You still need 1 character linked to Permeep. That way you get you benefit from getting more divinity points, more divinity EXP, as well as the boat sailing and gaming plant growth and speed. Okay. And I don't necessarily feel qualified to talk about what you should be doing in sneaking. My one big thing is just make sure you have enough like untie rate before you do something. If it's taking you longer than 3 days to untie a character, you're not doing it efficiently. Is my biggest piece of advice there. Summoning, I also don't have much of advice. There's different strategies that do work. Personally, what I do is I kind of drain my mana. Never mind, it's a strategy that doesn't really impact you, I don't believe. Actually, it does. You have this talent right here. So my strategy for summoning is I let my mana build up. Let's go over there real quick to show you. So I'll just toss this guy right here. So I let my mana build up. You see it's increasing the maximum, but it's also increasing the mana generation rate. And I let my HP drop. That way I get more mana generation per like tick to start pumping out a lot of monsters, to help use spikes to kill monsters and to push them back, and help delay until I get bloomies to give me mana generation. So I won't do this right now because I'll be spam clicking and everyone's going to hate me for that. So I don't want to do that. But some strategy you can think about there. The other strategy people do is just spam 1 lane and try to like brute force it and get all the slimes through that they can to try to win before they die. Yeah, just one strategy, just a few different strategies to throw out there if you don't have that. And farming. My biggest advice for farming is try to farm out stronger vines so you get +1 crop. Actually, land plots firstly, so you get more land plots, and secondly, stronger vines so you get +1 crop. Then like growth speed's pretty important. Getting 2 times crops collected is pretty important. Chance of crop evolution is also important. There's a lot of things that are specifically really important to try to farm. Farming EXP, not so much right now. I feel like you get enough EXP to not emphasize hard focusing this right now, but this is something you can look at. Land plots and stronger vines are really important early game, so you get more plots, more crop evolution chance just because you have more plots. Yeah, my advice on World 6 skills are not as robust as they should be, but there's a few different strategies you can employ there. But there you go. I think we've talked pretty extensively about what we should be doing. Overall, I think the biggest thing for you right now is skilling. Skilling is going to be a huge boost for you. Like I said, specifically for your prints, there's a lot of things you could be doing. Specifically, if you don't have Doot and you aren't active in lab, that's something you could really boost your prints with by unlocking the 2 times printer bonus in lab. You can also link to Harry Up on your elemental sorcerer through the polytheism talent. I explained that in depth on pretty much all the IE reviews I've done recently. You can link to Harry Up to get 6 times print from the lab as well as Harry Up bonus on your elemental sorcerer, specifically to help really juice out your log print. Yeah, since you're not active, I imagine if you aren't active in lab, then you are not benefiting from the 2 times printer bonus that you could be. So you're missing out on a lot of prints there, which is suffering your atom generation. The other thing to note here, if you aren't hitting 90% sample rate on your characters by clicking on the construction thing, seeing that 90% sample rate, you should really equip Royal Sampler. It's really important for hitting 90% prints. The other thing to note here is your stamp levels are pretty low. You want to try to hit stamp level 10,000 so you get the stamp mastery, trying to get 1 gilded stamp per day. Upgrade stats specifically in the combat section, upgrade skill efficiency where you can, like multi-tool and ladle stamp for ladle stamp, yeah, for ladle generation per hour if you're on your Blood Berserker, and just general skill efficiency there as well. Try to unlock some of the stamps, like Kondo Charmo stamp. This one is from Islands, and this one is World 6 drop specifically. If you can get this, this is really going to help juice out your damage and skilling efficiency as well. Also, I forgot to look at artifacts. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be big for you as well. Trying to get Eldritch Fury Relic is really important. Getting 75 max talent book levels is extremely good for you. It'll help your skilling as well, that we're able to book your talents even higher to get you even higher skilling prints. Additionally, Frost Relic, getting this Eldritch for an additional 30% skill efficiency is going to help your prints as well. If you're looking for damage, getting to Crystal Stake as soon as possible is going to be really important. Before you try push any more islands, try to get Eldritch 80 Tablet. This gives you a bunch of sailing speed. It's really important to try to get that way you don't spend as much time trying to unlock clouds to push some of the later artifacts. Okay, back to this. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have a way to progress your account. I'm just lacking a little bit of information, like what pet companions you have, but the Atom Collider specifically is going to help a lot in pushing your account. You still could benefit from things like Fluoride for meal cooking speed. Specifically, Boron is going to be a really big one for juicing out Alchemy. You're missing out on probably like 30-40 bubbles you can click per day, which is hampering your progress in just about every avenue, in damage, in skilling, like everything, money generation, everything comes back to Alchemy. And if the more you neglect this, the worse off your account's going to be. And this is the one thing I really want you to focus on: getting higher atom generation to boost everything Alchemy related. Specifically, mages is my recommendation because you can get really high log prints, and the Purple Cauldron is really easy to start ramping through. The only one hindrance right now for you might be the nail generation, but try to put as much speed per hour in your anvil to start producing more nails. Use bargain tags to increase this as much as possible. Try to get it to roughly 80% capacity, which you can use Idleon Toolbox for specifically. Go to the bubbles, look at 90% missing talent level, or sorry, 80% for you in this case, and see what the number in parentheses would be. That's how many levels you have to put into that bubble to level it up. Perfect. Okay, I've talked a lot. I feel like this is more than enough information to help you progress for quite a while. As always, if you have other questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have arising from this. So hopefully that gives you enough perspective, and thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.